Good evening, Practice Chair, my fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
About 100 years ago, there lived a jeweler named Shyam Saraf in a small town called Vai in Satara district of Maharashtra. Shyam lived in a joint family which consisted of his parents, Narayan and Jayabai, his wife Surekha, and their children Govinda and Kavita. His father Narayan had inherited a jewelry shop from Shyam's grandfather, and he had run the business for over 40 years before handing over the baby to Shyam. Shyam had observed his father at work for the last 2 years, and he had become a smart jeweler on his own. So, Narayan felt comfortable in handing over the reins to Shyam. It was a custom in those days for everyone to make a pilgrimage to the holy city of Kashi. Narayan and his wife Jayabai also had the same wish. Now that Shyam was operating the business, why not make the pilgrimage? Narayan expressed his desire to Shyam one day. Shyam did not comment immediately. He expressed his concern to his wife Surekha. He said, "It is such a long journey. It involves going by bullock cart to the nearest railway station, which is 5 miles away. From there, they have to make a train journey of 2 days. Not only that, at Kashi, they have to stay at a dharmashala. Who will take care of them during such a long journey?" But Surekha reassured him, "My own parents made the pilgrimage last year. They were taken care of well during their journey. Don't worry, they will come back safe and sound," said Surekha. Feeling reassured, Shyam gave his assent to his parents going on a pilgrimage. They sat down and calculated all the expenses needed for their journey. The total amount came to about 2,000 rupees, which was a sizable sum in those days. It was agreed that 3 days before the journey, Shyam would visit the local bank and withdraw that amount from Narayan's account. On the day that Shyam was to visit the bank, Narayan went to his childhood friend Gangadhar. Gangadhar was the headmaster of Vai's only school. About half the people of Vai had studied at that school, including both Narayan and Gangadhar themselves. As they recalled their school days, Narayan expressed a wish to see the school building once again. Gangadhar, being the headmaster, was free to go inside at any time. He took his friend into the school and showed him the school building. Narayan observed that not much had changed during the decades that had passed. The building was much the same. It was old. The furniture too was damaged and needed to be repaired or replaced. However, he did not tell all this to Gangadhar so that he would not feel hurt. After he returned home, Narayan had a long conversation with Jayabai about his association with Gangadhar over the decades and the many hours they had spent together at school, at the playground, and later in college. That evening, Shyam came back with the money needed for the journey. He had carefully placed amounts in different envelopes, each for a different purpose. One by one, he handed those envelopes over to Narayan. With equal care, Narayan placed those envelopes in a case which they would be carrying in the journey. Now they began packing for the journey. And just one day before the journey, Narayan visited the local temple. It took about 2 hours to come back. And after he had come back, everyone asked him where he had been. All that Narayan required was that he had been to the temple. But after he went inside the house, both Narayan and Jayabai started unpacking and putting their clothes back into the cupboard. Both Shyam and Surekha were astonished. The pilgrimage to Kashi was the wish of a lifetime, and after months of planning, why were his parents putting their clothes back into the cupboard? Shyam went to his father and blurted out, "What is all this, Baba? What are you doing now?" Calmly, Narayan walked away from the cupboard and faced his son and said, "Son, just a few days back, I met my childhood friend Gangadhar. As you know, he is the headmaster of the local school. He showed me the school, and he also told me that the school trust was finding it difficult to raise funds for renovating the building and repairing the furniture. After I came back, your mother and I decided to pay that amount needed for the repairs. And what we have done is, we have donated that amount to the amount intended for the pilgrimage for the renovation of the school." Shyam and Surekha had no words. They were moved by this noble gesture of their parents.